bad about us, put the blame on me.
Did you know that every 7 minutes a black person is born in this country without soul? Hello, I'm B.B. King. Won't you help Don Simmons and the thousands of others that suffer from this tragic disorder? Its cruel symptoms can strike anyone. Let's take a look.
I think the Republican Party has done one heck of a job. Don't you, June?
I'll say, Ward, we Republicans have turned this country around.
Safety and good mileage are the two things I looked for in a new car. That's why I bought a Volvo station wagon.
Hi, I'm president of the David Hartman fan club here in Glendale. I've even met David Hartman once. What a neat guy.
Chim chimney, chim chimney, chim chim cherry. A sweep is as lucky can be. Chim chimney, chim chimney, chim chim cheroo. Good luck will rub off when I shake hands with you.
This is B.B. King saying, won't you please give, so that Don Simmons here and so many others can become useful members of society.
Or below me a kiss, and that's lucky too.
Right to blacks without soul. Post Office Box 1305A, Atlanta, Georgia. Thank you.
Hey, más.
SADDEST.
I really identified with the girls in Ghost World. They made me feel like I wasn't so alone.
Yeah, whatever. Do you know anyone who works at Batman? 'Cause I really want to draw Batman. I'm awesome at utility belts. Check these out. This is where the Batman keeps his money, in case he has to take the bus.
My people don't believe in Jesus Christ's divinity. I'm a Jew, a lonely Jew, on Christmas.
A man drink like that and he don't eat, he is going to die.
When?
Oh, shut up, Pee-wee.
Why don't you make me?
Why don't you make me? Because I don't make monkeys. I just trade them. Oh, Pee-wee, listen to reason. Oh, come on.
I'm listening to reason.
Pee-wee.
That's my name. Don't wear it out.
Hey, what the hell?
Fancy pants. I've been naughty.
The tradition of Festivus begins with the airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. Now, you're gonna hear about it. You, Kruger, my son tells me your company stinks.
Oh, God.
Quiet, you'll get yours in a minute. Kruger, you couldn't smooth a silk sheet if you had a hot date with a babe. I lost my train of thought.
This is where he every day I'm wearing a necklace like this, and he's in this urn.
Is his ashes?
Yeah, his ashes right here and here. Yep. So both of my grandpas are here.
What's that other thing on the necklace?
It's a Punisher emblem.
What's that about?
I like the Punisher just because he's he takes his the law into his own hands to punish the people that wronged him.
Tell me, Senator, did you nurse Catherine yourself?
What?
Did you breastfeed her?
Now, wait a minute.
Yes, I did.
Toughened your nipples, didn't it?
Oh, son of a bitch.
Amputate a man's leg and he can still feel it tickling. Tell me, Mom, when your little girl is on the slab, where will it tickle you?
Take this thing back to Baltimore.
The question on everyone's lips is why? How could this be happening? Recent victims include local favorites, the Hutchinson brothers.
My brother is dead. He broke his neck and then he drowned. Why? I mean, one minute we're laughing, and the next minute he's dead. Why would God let this happen?
Well, hello and Merry Christmas. So, where's your little one? Oh, you're a big boy, aren't you? Is he retarded? I got this one. So, son, what would you like for Christmas, huh?
Did you fuck my mom?
What?
Did you fuck my mom?
What do you mean?
Did you fuck my mom, Santa Claus? Did you fuck my mom?
No.
Did you fuck her?
No.
Did you fuck my fucking mom? Did you fuck my mom, Santa?
Hey, fight my leg!
Charlie!
Get him over! Trying to kill me!
All right, come out or I'll blast you out.
For shame, Doc. Hunting rabbits with an elephant gun.
Elephant gun?
That's right, Doc. So why don't you go shoot yourself an elephant? You do, and I'll give you such a pinch!
We're going to start our volleys. We hope you like the show. Everything is ready. We're raring to go. We'll give you all the latest songs and dances full of pep. We're gonna start with high chops. Just watch this chorus steps.
Originally settled as Ocean View during the 1850s, the city's population boomed with displaced
But in my own way, I am king. Hail to the king, baby.
Welcome to Fantastic Comics Presents. Happy holidays, everyone. Tomorrow, Fantastic Comics will not be open. We're going to take the day off. I think a lot of people are going to be taking the day off, and I don't think many people are going to be coming in because the refrain used to be we stayed open on Christmas so that the Jews would have a reason to shop, somewhere to shop. That's what I was told by many a person that would come in shopping for books when I worked at Comic Relief. But it's going to be all Hanukkah starts tomorrow, Christmas. So, I'm not going to be open. In fact, I'm not going to be open New Year's Day either, which will be the first time I have been closed on a New Year's Day as a Fantastic Comics employer, owner, dude who owns a store. Oh, yeah, for those of you that don't know.
My name is
Yule Carter, comic book retailer in Berkeley, California.
That's me right here. Fantastic Comics retailer. We're open most Wednesdays through Sunday, 12 to 5 p.m. You got lots of comics there and lots of books that collect comics and lots of other things, but not a lot of other things. So don't expect a lot of action figures or pop vinyls and things like that. It's mostly comic books. I like to sell comic books. I like comic books. I want to share the love and the interest in comics that I have to all of y'all. And it doesn't necessarily have to be something I necessarily like, although this show is going to have a lot of what I like in it, usually at least. So thank you, everybody, for joining me. This is not going to be a normal show because I haven't watched any wrestling. I haven't paid attention to any wrestling. And I don't know, just not really interested right now. I've had some things going on right now, and I've been having to deal with it, at least, emotionally. And it's hard getting through the day sometimes. And, these days off that I'm going to be taking for the store couldn't have happened at a better time. Last week, I didn't have a show, but it had nothing to do with personal issues. It had everything to do with just I was super busy doing all sorts of crazy stuff. And it was getting in the way of me being able to get anything, even resembling a show together, which is funny that you're going to be watching this one because pretty much even less has been put into this. And yet here we are. Hell. For those of you that are interested, you can spell my name this way. And let's get on to the first. Oh my God, this is going to be the worst train wreck. All right, let's talk about some wrestling. I watched Saturday night's main event 2 Saturdays ago, I think now. Maybe just a Saturday ago. And it was a fine show, but there was nothing really important to write home about. There was a new champion crowned, Chelsea, whatever her name is, Zack Ryder's lady. Sorry to say that way. But she's a new Intercontinental Women's Champion. They got one. They got belts like crazy. Way too many belts. Way too many. Just too many belts. I can't make fun of AEW for having 1 million belts and then look at all the WWE ones. I do not count NXT in that. So just in the main 2 shows, there is a plethora of belts, and that's I guess that's the Wrestling Minute. Yeah, there you go. Let's look at some comics that were best of last week. They are in my possession, and a lot of them are just books I want to read. So here we go. I read this book, Uncanny X-Men, number 7. It's part 2 of 4, and it's the raid on Greymalkin, which is where the X-Men used to have their school, and Professor X used to run things there. Well, he is, I don't even know where he's being held, but recently the Uncanny X-Men book has seen a couple of people get absconded with, and the X-Men book have seen a couple people get stolen, kidnapped away. And the two teams are getting together to raid Greymalkin, which has now become a prison for mutants. It was good. The fill-in art, it wasn't all just the same artist, and it was okay. I don't know if I'm going to read this right now or just wait till it's collected, because I keep selling out of Godzilla Monster Piece Theater, this time the Sherlock Holmes story. It's written and drawn by Tom Scioli, and he's great. He did one of my favorite books of all time, Godland, with Joe Casey. And this has been a hit. And next week, I guess maybe the week after, we'll do the spin for the first issue giveaway. Paranoid Gardens came out last week, and it sold very well. I've been doing a really good job getting people on board with this, and it seems like they've been liking it. And this is the last part of this story. I'm not sure if this ends the entire thing or if there's more, but I'm looking forward to reading that. I just got this back in stock, so technically it's not last week, but Flash Gordon's been doing well for me. And Jeremy Adams, he writes some books over at DC. Green Lantern, good stuff. This also is a reorder, Green Arrow 18. It's written by this guy named Chris Condon, who did a book called That Texas Blood, and it was an Image comic book, kind of shooty, I guess, westerny. I don't know. But Green Arrow, he's writing it now, and it maybe is something to pay attention to. I read the first issue, and then this is the next part. And last week, Ultimate Spider-Man number 12 came in. I heard there was no Spider-Man in this, but that's great. And it sells very well. So best of last week. All right. Let's get to say hi to each and every one of you that has actually bothered to come in live. Hey, everybody.
We didn't come to borrow any money. We didn't come to borrow any dough. We didn't come to borrow any trouble. We just stopped in to say hello. Oh, hello to you, Mr. Manny. Please don't think that we are hammy. We just stopped in from Alabama. We just stopped in to say hello. Oh boy, you said it. We just stopped in to say hello. And don't forget it. We just stopped in to say hello. And I'm hello. Hello. Goodbye.
Ooh, I opened the store this today, and I welcomed a few people into the store to do some shopping. But ultimately, it was just me hanging out with Spider Guy. And then my buddy Ryan came by. You've seen him on the show at least once. Cheers, everybody. And yeah, there you go. And I did something big at the store today. I might as well tell you. I said goodbye to my bank fees. Not my bank. I'm going to keep them for at least the time being. But I paid off today the entirety of my credit card that we had the bank. Was it the bank loan or the credit card? I think the bank loan was the one I paid off first, and now it was the credit card. It doesn't matter. All of it is back to flat zero, and I'm super happy going into next year. Maybe there is a chance to make some money in comics. We'll find out. Stay tuned. But I ripped that Band-Aid off knowing that there are some bills that I have coming up, around the corner. And I'm like, oh my gosh. But fuck it. You know what I mean? I'm sick of paying money that isn't going to anything. Now, if I, it's always like you have to get to the certain amount before you start really paying off the bill. And it's been so many bills, and each one has been whittled down and down and down. I probably, since I've been doing the show, since around the COVID times, so I guess around 2020 is probably when I started really tackling the issue of paying everything off. So it feels like it's been a long time. I think we're a little bit ahead of schedule from when we made the plan to really do it. There were some hiccups, but again, I said, fuck it, let's just do it. And it's like, in some ways it's scarier not being under the thumb sometimes. So it feels weird, like, even though it's like this crazy relief, it's like, oh well, now there's no excuses. Now you can't fuck up anymore. All right, first up, from 751, so not that long ago, Fantinuum says, yo, I'm in SoCal right now. I knew. Can't join the show because I'm at a family dinner, but I'm going to wish you all a Merry Christmas. When did you eat? Well, you're eating at 8? My goodness. Awesome. Thank you, Fantinium. Jilby Pills in the other room. Hello. Lithilar, I didn't expect a show tonight. Well, why would you? I mean, I hardly ever have them on anymore. Dwayne Muth, Merry Christmas to you all. Merry Christmas to you. I say Merry Christmas. I'll say Happy Holidays. I used to be friends with the person who taught me the error of my ways to just force it on them. But she celebrated Christmas anyway, so it wasn't like a thing. A happy and merry for sure. Oh, Joaquin, how's it going, buddy, man? How are you doing? Oh, thank you, Lithidler. Chelsea Green, that's who it was. Wait, let me see here. Hold on a second. I'm standing next to my heater. Oh my goodness, that's so sad. Between Paranoid Gardens and Masked Mockers ending, is that Mockers? I'm taking a hiatus from Dark Horse. Well, you don't read any of the Mark Miller books? What about those Patton Oswalt books? Eric Brain, I thought we were supposed to talk some baseball. Eric, we can talk baseball anytime. And thank you for the Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you. Oh my goodness, we have a new member, everybody. Oh darn, I don't have the clapping. Why don't I have clapping? Oh wait, do I? Yes, I do. El Pasco has become a YouTube member. Well, thank you very much. That's awesome. I have some private videos that we made, and hopefully there'll be a baseball one soon. Hell. Oh, you wondered if I had anything going on. I was going to actually text you to let you know, but if you didn't know, that's fine. Not near mint. Wait a sec. I saw it. Hold on. I can do this. Merry Christmas Eve, you all. Well, thank you very much. Merry Christmas Eve to you and to every one of you out there. Thanks for joining us. Oh yeah, and happy holidays to you again. Excellent. All right, this is great. Great show. I'm glad everybody's here. Anybody look? What was your favorite Christmas gift that you got? I remember one year I got a Millennium Falcon. It was pretty awesome. It opens up and it had all the junk inside, and your figures could go on in there and play in there. And I was part of like the Star Wars fan club back in, when you actually put in the proof of purchases and you mail it in, and then they actually give you like action figures and little pegs to put under the feet to stand them up. Well, back in those days, we had Well, I had a Millennium Falcon, and I think the brothers had either a TIE fighter and an X-Wing, and then they eventually got to share an AT-AT because they had birthdays right next to each other. So they got screwed that way. Who gets screwed worse? People that have birthdays near Christmas or next to each other? Always sharing the same cake, having to share the same friends coming over, and stuff like that. Woof, tough. I'll finish Rogues Gallery, Nemesis Rogues Gallery, but I dropped Nightclub early and never got into Magic Order or Jupiter's Legacy. Magic Order is my jam, and it's pretty much the only one I read. I like the Ambassadors. I wish they do a couple more of those. Yeah, those are the ones for me. Mark Miller really, he gets a lot of credit. Let's be real about Mark Miller for a second. If you guys want me to you can throw out names and I'll give you so go ahead and throw out a name of a comic creator. But Mark Miller, he was really popular following Warren Ellis on Authority. And he was hardcore doing that Avengers storyline. I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but if you haven't read Authority, he comes in and he goes boom, and I mean literally boom, and I'm not going to tell you how, but holy cow. You don't see this in comics usually, especially superhero comics. And Authority was already that type of book anyway. So for Mark Miller to come in and take it up to the next notch, it kind of became his thing. Even though, he kind of got dragged into comics with, Grant Morrison, on Swamp Thing and Flash. They did some stuff together. And then Miller also did Superman Adventure type books. But it was, I think really it was the Authority where shit went down with him and people started really paying attention. And it was around that time afterwards that Ultimates and he would do Ultimate X-Men and Bendis would do Spider-Man. So the whole Ultimate Universe thing was going on. And I might be forgetting some stuff, but then, there was, that whole Civil War bit, which was one of the biggest selling comic book things ever. Company-wide events that pretty much made company-wide events a four-time a year thing. even though things are going really well with your brand new initiative of comics, but I'll do a 2-month hiatus with some other bullshit that doesn't matter. Yeah, there you go. That's so Mark Miller was kind of, always kind of pushing the envelope, but after a while it just kind of got, I don't know. By the time Kick-Ass came around, it was cool looking and it was kind of fun, but it was kind of done. And he's done a lot of things also since then that are kind of good sometimes not very good to me. And he has fans for different things, which I think is actually quite good. His brand is not specific to one thing anymore, like it kind of felt like it used to be. And he has different stories that he's doing, and he showed some maturity within his storytelling, and maybe I've grown up with him and I've seen the change, and sometimes it can be really good, sometimes it's not really, again, still for the most part not my cup of tea. I do like Magic Order though. Very good book. Probably the one that I like the most of all his Millerverse stuff. All right, let's see. Lithidor says, I can't wait for Hickman to finish his contract Marvel to go to DC to take over Legion. Well, next year, Jonathan Hickman has a big event going on. I forget what it was called, but I'm going to try and do 2 things at once. talking about Jonathan Hickman, he always does, pretty much, big things when he does stuff at Marvel now these days. Let me see. How do you? Jeez Louise. I can't believe fucking. It's called Imperial. Here, let me share this with you. I'm gonna just share it. I'm gonna share my Twitter, my X screen with you. Not edited or anything like that. Okay, share screen. I'm gonna share this post that I liked. And here you go. It's Jonathan Hickman presents The End of the Beginning, Imperial. Nature abhors a vacuum. Summer 25. So there you go. Jonathan Hickman's going to hang with Marvel for a while. And I don't know. I mean, I doubt that he's I doubt that he's an exclusive contract over at Marvel anyway. So he could probably go and do that anyway. Walk says Jim Lee. Jim Lee is probably the DC doesn't want him to do. He doesn't. They don't want him to go over and work on X-Men so bad that they keep signing him to this contract to lead their company, and it seems rudderless. But they don't want him doing X-Men. Jim Lee maybe never really created a character that was worth a shit. How's that? But he's a really great artist, and I think he does really good team books. And I actually like Wildcats, but it's usually afterwards, whether if it was because of art. Jay Lee did some Wildcats. Travis Charest did Wildcats. And of course, if we're talking writing, I've already mentioned Joe Casey earlier. His Wildcats 2.0 and 3.0 is really good stuff. Holy cow, Jim. Happy holidays. Thank you for everything. $20. Thank you so much. You're awesome. Jim, we got to get him on the show. All I need is, what did you say, 150 likes? Thumbs up? He's clearly taking any project. Look at World Revenge and Avengers and Aliens. For sure. Let me put this up while I talk about that. I mean, he's taking those are high profile books. I've been selling them pretty well. I know a lot of people have been kind of slamming on Wolverine Revenge, not really enjoying the story. And then when it was like, we have nothing really to say about the story being bad, there was some shit that was coming out about Greg Capullo kind of talking smack about his colorists. Maybe like for some reason the colorist is to blame for art being bad or story being bad. I can't imagine. I mean, who cares? I mean, I'm really enjoying these comics that are colorless. These Marvel and DC comics when they do these blank, black and white. So nice. I love it. Did he create Gambit? I don't believe he created Gambit. I think that was Silvestri, but I could be wrong. I think he was involved with Jubilee, but I mean, I like Jubilee, but is Jubilee really that great? I mean, if Jubilee's creation and becoming, if she became a character today, okay, I want you to try. I know none of you people that are watching here would ever think about lame new characters and attributing to them as some sort of culture war type thing. I don't even know if that's exactly what I mean in this situation, but when you kind of I don't know if I like this because it's just too in my face. But Jubilee, would she be accepted these days? That's what I wonder. They're high profile because of Hickman, for sure. If it wasn't for Hickman, nobody would care about aliens at all. They're high profile because Hickman is willing to work on them. No, I'm just joking, for sure. The only thing you can put him on is important big books, big events, you know. They try, and then people expect too much, like when you get gods, regardless of the price of the issue. People were just like, oh, it needs to be this thing. But it doesn't need to be this thing. It just needs to be good. And not only that, in the most recent issue of Spider-Man Men that came in last week, there was one of the God's characters. I can't remember the lady's name, but she's not actually a magician. She's one of the science nerd magic people. Roy Thomas created Gambit. I don't know if he really did, but that's funny, Jay. If Steve Fox was writing Avengers versus Aliens, no one would be talking about it. For sure. Well, I mean, the thing is like, really anybody should be able to write Avengers versus Aliens, and it should sell a modicum amount of issues. It's got Avengers and it's got Aliens, you know, two classic Disney properties. Nobody's going, I mean, the high price tag, and maybe someone saying, I don't know if I really want to read this. And then I say, yeah, Jonathan Hickman's writing it. Then it's like, okay, I'll try it. And for the most part, really dig it. And then Roy Thomas created Jubilee. I like that. All right. Yeah, for sure. What do you mean, you people? You people watching, I said. Yeah. Okay, so for anybody that doesn't know, Roy Thomas is credited for creating the Wolverine. And I can't remember exactly why that is, but blah, blah, blah. Maybe it was an editor. Maybe he suggested something and he got that credit in the movie. And there you go. If Giant Size X-Men came out today, people would complain about how woke it is and the forced diversity. It's funny because like I've seen things talking about the X-Men now. And supposedly there were people that were kind of like, what is this black woman? What is this, you know, pretty much a black woman, I assume, being in the group. But talking about the other ones. And I kind of have a hard time really believing that. Definitely not so vocal as it feels like it is today. I mean, I'm still under the impression that just because we can all see the social media and see one idiot say something, and then we can attribute it to all you people, it's probably always been the same way. It never, you couldn't see it like it used to, like it is now, and it just. One of my customers had a little bit of a hacking situation with with one of those platforms, and now they're smelling flowers again. It's beautiful. Oh, it's a beautiful day. It's pouring, you know, but I'm feeling the rain once again. And yeah, they would totally. I would love that. That's my. I always. So the way I say that is this. You know, not my Iron Man, whatever. That ain't my Iron Man, or something like that. But I would like to believe that back in the 1960s, there was some. How old would they probably have been? Somewhere in their 19s to 26. You know, they eventually got out of the comics, right? So somewhere in 1926, when you're reading superhero books still, and you get to, and you're like, oh my God, look at this Flash. He doesn't have a hat. He doesn't have a big helmet on. He's got a bow tie. This is not my Flash, or not my Green Lantern. Not this Hal Jordan guy. My guy's Alan Scott. And I think that's pretty funny to think about that stuff, because what made me think of that was when I was a kid reading Justice League International. There were old timers, or what I was considering old timers, probably that 19 to 26 or whatever. And they were bitching about the funny Justice League stuff. And I'm like, this is the greatest thing ever. Where people, I don't like Grant Morrison and this horrible artist on Doom Patrol. And I'm like, did you not read Doom Patrol before? Really? Are you sure? So there's a Canadian who heals himself. So he's like a universal healthcare personified. I love it. That's great. All right. Let's see if this is short enough to where they don't care.
Well, it's just an old run-of-the-mill Wednesday. The calendar's full of them.
That's right. Not Wednesday, though. We're talking Thursday, because I'm going to be closed tomorrow, and we're going to talk about some comic books that are coming out. All right, I got these that I want to read, or were sort of the best of last week. These are, you know what? Here's the best of last week also. This is the variant cover of the main cover. That's Savage Sword of Conan #6. I love Titan. If only they would be distributed by Penguin Random House. Let's hope in 2025 we can manifest that reality. They really get it. They understand that not only did I want a magazine version of Conan, but that I wanted a black and white, just like in the old days. And they're being rewarded by people actually picking up these books. I'm being rewarded by people realizing that, holy cow, Conan is fun and really, really neat to read. And if the art goes along with it, even better. So, and then, like I said, they get it. So this was a 6-issue miniseries. You can see right there, 6. They announced that this was so good that they're going to keep going with it. And, I assumed it was going to have a brand new #1. So, volume 2, volume 3, however they're really counting it. No, you know what they're going to do? They're going to continue the numbering. And I was like, what a thought. It's going to continue the numbering. Titan gets it. A company should be run by like Titan. I mean, as far as what they're doing with the Conan stuff, it's really, really good. And I mean, I think companies that have fans that appreciate things that Titan is doing on the Conan books would probably want to kind of emulate it. They maybe have lost their way, or they're seeing they're short-sighted in their needing new covers and new #1s and stuff like that. Titan still does very many covers. Here you go. Here's one right here. You know what I mean? They usually have 3 or 4 covers, but it's nice because one, some will be like really action packed, and one might have like kind of like a sexual, suggestions on the cover, maybe even a little bit more lewd stuff. And then others will have more like of a kiddie aspect to them. And I think it really does a really good job as far as, having different flavors of that. And all the Savage Sword stuff has been really good. All right, first up we have, should I be upset? Should I have done the work? Freaking Wes over on Thinking Critical. I was on his show live with Doc one time, the whole group on the aficionados. And Doc was saying that Justina Ireland was going to be the new writer of Amazing Spider-Man. And And I want to let people know that it might come across. I mean, I was pretty adamant that there was never going to be a Justina Ireland. I might even have said there might never be. I don't remember if I said it this way. There will never be a woman writing Amazing Spider-Man, but I think I said Justina Ireland. But I mean, I was just like, you're being ridiculous. There's just no way they're going to put nobody on Amazing Spider-Man. And I was rewarded with this confidence. And they announced that they're going to relaunch Spider-Man with a brand new #1. And the person who's leading the 8 Deaths of Spider-Man, Joe Kelly, a man of action, so you know he's okay in my book, is going to be writing the brand new #1 Spider-Man in the next volume. Justina Ireland, though, is writing this. It's her second issue in a row, and it's kind of like an in-betweenish story with the 8 Deaths. Maybe a little coffee break. But the first issue was pretty good, and Gleb Melnikov is doing the art, and I'm a Spider-Man fan, so there you go. Part 3 of the raid on Gray Malkin. We've got X-Men. Jed McKay is writing this issue, and Ryan Stegman. Yeah, look at that. Cool cover. We've got Time Slide right here. I picked this cover because I thought it was cool looking. Mike Del Mundo. The man who personally ruined, or who ruined Jason Aaron's Thor. Oh wow, Steve Fox is writing this one. I had no idea. And Ivan Fiorelli. Sounds American. But it's got Bishop and it's got Cable in it, so you know I'm sold. Sabretooth, The Dead Don't Talk. This is written by, oh, really? Well, Frank Thierry is writing this. I personally don't really think like super highly of Frank Thierry. He's kind of into Jimmy Palmiotti and his buddy Justin Gray, I think. But usually having finished a Thierry book or those other guys, I find that I've usually read a pretty fun comic book story. And look, it's Sabretooth, everybody. What a great cover. All right. This is a noir edition, and I don't order a lot of these, but this represents a book that's coming out this week. Batman, Gargoyle of Gotham, number 3. As I said, I got the noir edition because black and white and Grompa go hand in hand, although there is a splash of color in this book anyway. I know you're jealous. They all sold out. So you're probably not going to be able to get that one yourself. But you should like black and white like me. Green Arrow, number 19. I told you about Chris Condon, that Texas Blood dude. Justice League Unlimited, number 2. Dan Mora doing double time work over at DC. That guy's going to go blind drawing really awesome comic books. Mark Waid's writing. And love him or hate him, it's usually a pretty cool book. Oh, damn, I picked it up twice. Time Slide. There you go, Bishop and Cable. I guess I'll take that one back to the store. Oh, Sabretooth again. Oh, man. Shorten the shelves. Last 2. We've got Wonder Woman, Absolute Wonder Woman, number 3. This is written by Kelly Thompson. And for the first time, people were saying this art's not that good. I dig that. You know, what are you going to do? Is this Hayden Sherman, I think the person's name is? Yeah, here we go. Hayden Sherman. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Look at that. I love fun paneling like that. My favorite, I mean, it's kind of cheap. It's kind of J.H. Williams III style, you know. I used to make fun. I can draw a J.H. Williams III, and I drew a circle, and I just drew lines coming out of it and just did stick figures where shit should go. I'm like, it's a J.H. Williams the third. And then lastly, Joshua Williamson and Dan Mora on Superman number 21. Lois Lane and Superman and Doomsday. How exciting. All right, let's see here. Conan has been amazing so far, Elithidor. Not near mint. Yeah, because in 25, Marvel is releasing Volume 7, Issue 1 of Amazing. Is it Volume 7? You know, I actually have, let me see if I have it right here. Oh, damn, I don't have it right now. I have I went to a different comic store, a better comic store, obviously. And they had a little placard showing you where the Spider-Man cutoffs were because it always confuses me. Dwayne moved Titan rocks. They sure do. Elithalore, Marvel looks ready to punt 25. No, DC is poised to eat their lunch. So, with what? We've got the Mark Waid comics that are coming out. So, Justice League Unlimited. You've got his Batman Robin Year One. You've got Jim Lee and Jeff Loeb doing Hush 2. And you got the Absolute books, but we're going to start seeing how those Absolute books are really doing when we get the numbers for number 4, 5, and 6. And truthfully, we never really get those numbers anyway because it's Lunar and DC and they don't have to tell us. Doc had a rage-filled rant about comics and was wrong. You're putting me on. It wasn't. We were just shooting the shit, and he was, in fact, and this is the reason why I'm a little upset. Wes and Doc had a big old conversation about Spider-Man and Joe Kelly coming on to write the new book. And I thought they had a really reasoned, intelligent conversation. And Doc wasn't even all Doc like he normally is. And it was really good. And the only thing that upset me was they didn't say that I told them that wasn't going to happen. And they continue to think that it was going to happen, Doc thought. And then we got bamboozled, is what he's saying. It's because Yule called up Marvel and Joe Kelly, and I negotiated those two groups getting together. Anyway. Hey, everybody. Thanks for showing up. I really appreciate it. To anybody that's watching afterwards, you're really awesome. I want to also thank some very, very important people that might not get seen too often, but I want you to know that I see you, unlike this guy behind the counter.
You know, my last name is Costanza. That's Italian. So you and I are kind of like countrymen. Huh?
Paisanos!
650 your change. Ah, yes. And I always take care of my paisanos. So here's a little something.
Antonio!
Sì!
Vieni qua! Questa miserabile patrona!
So we have a Patreon page for those of you that don't know, and everything is Fantastic Comics. Our Substack and our Instagram. Substack is where you can get some information. You might have found out that I was open today. Hung out for a little while, had some drinks. It was a great time. Having some drinks with you all right now. Thank you very much. And we're going to be ending this in just a few minutes. So if you have anything you want to get out there, you want me to mention anything, let me know. What was your favorite Christmas gift that you got? Do you celebrate Christmas? Am I being presumptuous to assume that you actually got gifts? I got a lump of coal. Sorry. Who got beat on Christmas? Raise your hand. Let's not talk about that. That was a sad moment. Yeah, very sad moment. Let's see here. Wes is bread is buttered on the culture war side of the bread, and he knows it. It really gets grating. Yeah, well, you gotta make videos. And you got to have a point of view. And, let me leave that up. when you're writing your paper, when you're writing your thesis, you got to make that as rock solid and as specific and to the point as you possibly can. And to get it, you can explain yourself later on, but get those views. Never received a comic for Christmas. Well, I'll tell you what, Wonk. I received a gift certificate to, oh my God, my favorite comic store ever. Well, there's been a few. My favorite comic store was called Comic Heaven. And they were in Covina, if I remember correctly. And they were, it was John and Nan Verzeal. And they were New Yorkers, and they sounded like it. Like, it sounded like New Yorkers. And they talked like New Yorkers. It was just great. And it was a lot of shit talking about comics, and I found out a lot of stuff, like back when Keith Giffen was getting in trouble for swiping his style from Sampoya or Munoz or one of those guys. I can't remember who it was. And talking about Cerebus and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and all sorts of stuff about Frank Miller and his coke habit and just shit like that. And I was a kid, my dad was taking me, and but before we got to know them and all that stuff that I just told you about, I spent my gift certificate or whatever, and I bought like a Spider-Man, an older Spider-Man. I think I can't remember which one. Probably like number 50s, 60s, maybe even like a Marvel Tales. I have no idea. And when I got it out of the bag, it had a grade on it, but I didn't really realize the grade. I'm like, this is kind of dinged up. And like all of a sudden I started knowing about condition and stuff. And yeah, I love Comic Heaven. They were great. They moved, and then another place took their spot. California Comics, I think they were called. And I learned lessons going there. And then eventually we went back to Comic Heaven because they moved to Alhambra, and that was quite a trek. But we would go there, every once in a while and pick up a shit ton of books. And it was great. And in fact, sometimes you buy books from those Comic Heaven days. And if you buy them from my store, I mean, good condition too. You're right. My uncle got me a certificate for comics and comics in Berkeley. All right, excellent. Captain Action figure and accessories. Captain Action? Really? Oh my goodness gracious. Did I work there on Shattuck? Yeah, I worked. Oh no, not on. Wait, on Shattuck? No, comics and comics. Don't ask me about. I don't. Not on Shattuck. I don't think. I remember they were on Telegraph, and they used to be all over Berkeley, but that was before I moved there in '99. The only thing on Shattuck was Other Change of Hobbit. But when Comic Relief moved to Shattuck, I also worked there because they used to be up on University. So I was by the hat store. That's Telegraph, dude. That's Telegraph. I'm pretty sure because I applied at that one back when I moved to Berkeley, and I got the Comic Relief job instead. It was better for that. All right. Let's see here. Let's play this video. Don't leave. That's right. It's almost the end of the show, but I want to remind all of my customers I'm not open tomorrow. And even though I usually am, I am not going to be open the 1st. I know it's a new Comic Book Wednesday, and there should be some pretty cool stuff coming out, but I'm not going to be open. I'm taking the chance and hoping you guys will understand that even though I did a show next Tuesday for New Year's Eve. I am not going to be in the store next Wednesday. I'm going to reopen on Thursday, and you can get your brand new comics that day. And I appreciate you for understanding. Most people aren't even going to be around. Thank you very much for tuning in. I got a couple more comments. Let's see what I see here. Bay Area Retro. That was Comics and Comics, the second location. First one was where the zebra the tattoo joint is. I'd buy a pot stickers at that Zebra, if I remember correctly. God, I was up on Telegraph yesterday, everybody, and they still have they blocked off the streets and they had all sorts of vendors, but it was just different. It was not like it used to be in 2000. Obviously, the Brad Pitt lady wasn't there. Some people call her the Tony Hawk lady. Some people call her Madavia. Some people probably call her bitch. But she used to sell these hats that she would make, and she was always on the corner with, I think, her husband at the time, maybe. And there was all sorts of just janky places, and now it's just different ways to buy jewelry, maybe some scented shit, but I don't know. It didn't seem like it used to be. Maybe I forget. Sean Franklin. Well, hello there, Sean. How's it going? Wait. Have I read Freddy versus Jason versus Ash comic book? No, I haven't. I usually don't read too many media comics and usually not horror. So that's a little bit of a mix there. And I don't usually. And I've never read an Ash book, but I've read a Jason comic book. No, Jason. Yes. When Wildstorm was doing horror comic books. So that was Jim Lee's company. And I think DC had purchased them. So most of what they were doing was kind of this horror stuff at the time. They did a Jason comic book, and they also did Texas Chainsaw Massacre comics, and I really enjoyed those. And I don't think they're easy to get, and if you want to pick those up, they're kind of expensive. But all three of them, no, I haven't ever read that. All right, lastly, Barry Retro. It's not like it was late 80s Telegraph was the funnest place in the planet. Well, I wasn't there for the late 80s. I was there for the late 90s, but yeah. Have I seen Wicked? Have you seen Wicked? A good movie, Wizards of Oz story. No, I haven't seen it, Sean. I don't know. I don't think I will see it, probably. I've seen the South Park that talks about musicals. The Freddy versus Jason versus Ash comic was based on an unused plot for the movie that Sam Raimi refused to greenlight. Oh wow! I have watched the Evil Dead television program. That was pretty good. Flinch, I know you'd love this, Battle Buddy. Flinch was a cool series too for horror. Anthology though, and that's a death to almost all books. What's your favorite one? It's got to be Dark Horse Presents, right? And just ran the longest. It can't help but being the best. All right, I'm going to play a video. I'll see you all next week. I am going to do a New Year's Eve show. Hey, if you all bring your party hats, we can just make it... we'll just go all the way to New Year's Pacific time. What do you guys think? That'd be great, right? Okay, here comes the video.
String up the lights and light up the tree. We're gonna make some revelry. Spirits are high, so I can tell it's Christmas time in hell. Demons are nicer as you pass them by. There's lots of demon toys to buy. The snow is falling and all is well. It's Christmas time in hell. There goes Jeffrey Dahmer with a festive Christmas ham. After he has sex with it, he'll eat up all he can. And there goes John F. Kennedy, caroling with his son. Reunited for the holidays, God bless us everyone. Everybody has a happy glow, let's dance in blood and pretend it's snow. Even Mao Zedong is under the spell, it's Christmas time in hell. Adolf, here's a present for you. Oh, Tannenbaum! Yes, a Tannenbaum. God cast me down from heaven's door to rule in hell forevermore. But now I'm kinda glad that I fell, cause it's Christmas time in hell. Here's a rack to hang the stockings on, we still have to shop for Genghis Khan. Michael Landon's hair looks swell, it's Christmas time in hell. There's Princess Diana holding burning mistletoe over poor Gene Siskel's head, just watch his weenie grow. For one day we all stop burning and the flames are not so thick. All the screaming and the torture stops as we wait for old St. Nick. So string up the lights and light up the tree, we're damned for all eternity. But for just one day, all is well, it's Christmas time in hell. Gather close together and make it quick, we gotta make room for Andy Dick. Wake his mother and ring the bell, it's Christmas time.